Hi Chelsea fans, Chels Daft here, back with another video and 4 key stories that we're going to talk about. Following on from yesterday's game and the fantastic 6-0 victory against Barnsley. Apologies there was no video yesterday. I've been looking at getting some new equipment. It finally arrived, including this little baby, the camera. A proper camera rather than a webcam, and hopefully it makes a difference. Today we're going to be looking at the Barnsley game, the possibility of people leaving, including Ross Barkley, Ruben Loftus-Cheek and Toni Rudiger, again, as rumours continue. All this to come in the video. Make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel, but for now, let's get cracking. So, as Frank Lampard said before the game on Tuesday, he said the game against Barnsley would be an ideal opportunity to give players more time to get some match fitness and to get players involved that haven't necessarily been involved in the 2 match days previously against Brighton and Liverpool. Noticeably enough, Ruben Loftus-Cheek was left out of the match day squad for the 2nd time in the last 2 games, as was Toni Rudiger, who in fact has missed every single game so far. Let's just talk about the game and the positives. Thiago Silva made his debut, made a little mistake early, and we had a bit of a sticky wicket about 20 minutes or so into the game where Barnsley created some chances, but after that looked calm, composed and assured, and you could already see him trying to communicate, even though he couldn't speak the language with Tomori. You know, just his gestures and the presence that he is gets his message across, and I thought he did well for an hour. Ben Chilwell made his debut late on and got an assist for Olivier Giroud's fantastically taken well header. I mean, a header on the half volley, you can't underestimate that. Bottom corner to make it 6. Brilliant. Tammy Abraham came into the team, started off like a house on fire, did really well. And what was key was his link up with Kai Havertz, who was given a chance to play as the number 10, a little bit free, and an outstanding Havertz. A hat-trick, brilliant performance. His first ever club hat-trick, brilliant. And as I say, the link up between Tammy and Kai Havertz was important, and it looked really good. Of course, there was other people that come into the team that played well, but it was overall, it was a good workout with 6-0 with the extra goal scored by Ross Barkley. So Tammy Abraham scored, Kai Havertz got 3, Ross Barkley and Olivier Giroud were the goal scorers. Frank called it a good night, and I think we can all agree it was a good night, a good run out, and it was important for Kai Havertz because with Christensen getting himself sent off against Liverpool, someone had to be sacrificed at half time. Unfortunately, it was Kai Havertz. Having a disappointing game at Brighton where he couldn't really get involved, being played wide right, he then gets taken off at half time against Liverpool, and you sort of wonder how he'd feel about things and if he's, you know, if sort of nerves get into his game. But yesterday did him the world of good, and it's so good to see. Now, another little news item today, I say little, it's another signing. Eduoard Mendy confirmed signed and sealed a 5-year contract coming to Chelsea from Rennes. And he said that he was so excited to be joining Chelsea. It's a dream to be part of this squad and to work with Frank Lampard. And he's looking forward to seeing everyone and can't wait to get started. And according to reports, he's fit and available and ready to be selected this weekend when we face West Brom, Saturday evening, 5:30. I just want to make a comment about Kepa and David James, the ex-Premier League goalkeeper who'd been Watford, he's been Liverpool. We all know David James. He has been talking of Kepa, and he believes that Chelsea have literally hung Kepa out to dry. And I wanted to know what you guys thought of his comments. I'll just read him here. David James said this. He said, "I studied Kepa before Chelsea signed him, and he fascinated me. The guy was capable of making saves I hadn't seen in the Premier League for a long time. Top end stuff. Proper top end stuff. But then he'd throw one in or make a mistake, and I think, okay, there's a flaw here, but if you get the right coaching and the right environment for him, this guy could be the best goalkeeper in the Premier League." I don't think Kepa's had the protection at Chelsea. I think he's been hung out to dry. If he doesn't do something right, it's wrong, and he gets absolutely lambasted by everybody. You spend £72 million on a player, talk about an investment, then you've got to work out how much do you spend to make him better than that. You're that cost. You should sort out yourself or not make mistakes, which is ludicrous. With Kepa, it just seems like confirmation bias. Everyone doesn't like him. So let's get someone else who could fix the problem. I've analysed Mendy. He's good with his feet, his positioning is good, and he likes coming for crosses, which would be interesting if he drops a couple in the Premier League. Give him an opportunity and see if he still comes for crosses after that. So with Chelsea, if you're going to spend 72 million on a player and replace him with a 22 million player, you've got to ask, is the environment right for either goalkeeper? Strong words from David James. Do you think that Kepa's had the support of Chelsea? Chelsea keep backing him publicly. Petr Cech has backed him. Frank Lampard's backed him. He's been given numerous opportunities. Let's just see what happens with Mendy. It's someone that's been recommended by Petr Cech. Petr Cech is well versed on the goalkeeping position, as we all know. We'll trust him with the sign of Mendy, and hopefully Mendy can bring the best out of Kepa and they can make a real fight for that number one position. Now I want to talk about two Chelsea players in particular who are targets for loan moves, who have been bit part. We have to just admit and acknowledge that. And I mentioned one of them earlier, and that one of them is Ruben Loftus-Cheek, and the other is Ross Barkley. Now there's reports that Aston Villa are considering loan moves for either or these two players, and it's interesting to see what Chelsea do. Premier League rules indicate they can only take one player, and the Telegraph are reporting that they want Barkley. The Guardian are reporting they want Ruben Loftus-Cheek, and I just want to talk about the situation really, because as I said earlier, Loftus-Cheek had a bad game at Brighton. He lacked confidence, he couldn't get involved, whatever he tried didn't sort of work, and he's not been seen in the Liverpool squad, and he wasn't in the squad last night, where you thought it probably would have been an ideal opportunity for him to get some minutes rather than Mason Mount. I know Frank is trying to look to get people get match fit and get their fitness back, but to me it was an ideal opportunity to throw Loftus-Cheek in to get his foot on the ball and get some confidence. But the fact he wasn't involved, Loftus-Cheek, makes, ask questions, and there's all these speculations appeared as a result. So what do we think of Loftus-Cheek? He's probably not going to get a regular start at Chelsea based on the fact that you've got Kai Havertz and you've got Mason Mount fighting for a number 10 role if we're going to go 4-2-3-1. When Christian Pulisic and Hakim Ziyech are back fit, they're going to be starting on the wings if we go 4-3-3, even in a 4-2-3-1. So there's only really one position in midfield that's available. Does Ruben Loftus-Cheek command a start at the moment? I don't think he does. And I'm wondering if a Premier League loan for a season at Aston Villa could do Loftus-Cheek the world of good. It's clear that Loftus-Cheek needs to play football. When he played football at Crystal Palace, he was excellent. Forced his way into the England squad at the World Cup, and rightly so. We all know the quality that Ruben Loftus-Cheek has got. His ability with the ball at his feet to score goals, to create, to glide across that pitch in possession is second to none. And we all want to see Loftus-Cheek get back to being that player. The question we have to ask ourselves at the moment is he going to be that player this season? Yes, being given a run of games, a sustained period of time in the team will only help improve his confidence. He'll then get his foot on the ball more. It'll be, let's also not forget he's come back from an Achilles injury, a big injury, and there must still be that element of doubt in the back of his head as to how far he pushes himself. You have to consider that also. But I just wonder, with the arrival of Kai Havertz, I said it a few weeks back in a video that the thumbnail's called Benched, and I asked if the Chelsea youngsters that made such a good impression last season will be forced out of the team or forced to work harder and could suffer as a result because of the arrivals of Kai Havertz and Timo Werner. Loftus-Cheek falls into that category. Kai Havertz coming in, played every game so far, got his hat-trick yesterday, shown his quality. Mason Mount is a nailed-on starter for Frank Lampard. Works hard, so hard in every game. Has great ability. Can score, can create, can get the ball in the box. Loftus-Cheek is very different. He's more like your box-to-box midfielder. In effect, he's a bit more like Frank Lampard, where he can arrive late or he can create something and get on the end of things. I just wonder if there's space at the moment for Loftus-Cheek to get the football that he wants. Now, I'm not sure there will be. And I'm sure with Aston Villa and West Ham reportedly interested in Loftus-Cheek loan, could you see Loftus-Cheek used as a bit of a make weight for Declan Rice? Maybe. But I think West Ham and Villa have got a good chance to sign Loftus-Cheek because I think Chelsea will let him go out on loan this season. What do you guys think? Do you think he would get enough opportunities, or is it better for Loftus-Cheek to go out on loan for a year? Now, the other player obviously is Ross Barkley, and Villa are after Ross Barkley also. So they have to make their mind up. If Chelsea are willing to listen to a loan move for Loftus-Cheek and Barkley, they need to make a decision. But for me, they're two very different players. Loftus-Cheek is more of an all-round box-to-box midfielder. Ross Barkley comes to the fore when he's got the ball at his feet in the opposition half. He's willing to work back and get behind the ball and close people down in his own half. But he's much more of a creator that likes to sit deep. Yes, we've seen him get goals. He got a good goal yesterday. But he's someone that looks to play that pass, to be the creator. He's the sort of person that'll take a shot on from the edge of the box, whereas Loftus-Cheek likes to get in there or get on the end of things. Barkley has done well in recent months. Toward the end of last season after lockdown, before it when he scored that belter against Liverpool from distance, and he's done okay in the games that he's played so far when he's come on, especially yesterday, getting his goal, played very well. So the question is, does Barkley fit? But it's going to be the same problem. If you've got two players for each position and Chelsea want Declan Rice, then think in our midfield. If you're going 4-2-3-1, you've already got Conte and Kovacic as the number one pairing. You've got Jorginho and you've got one other space for a defensive midfielder, possibly, or a box-to-box. Does Barkley fit that role? Not really. Does Loftus-Cheek fit in that position as a box-to-box? Yes, he does. Billy Gilmour's there, but I can see that if Declan Rice comes in, if Chelsea can be successful with Declan Rice, then it solves the problem, because you've got two defensive-minded midfielders in Conte and Declan Rice, and you've got creator in Jorginho, take the defensive responsibility away from him, and you've got Kovacic, who's just the all-rounder. Then that leaves the two number 10s, who can also drop in and play as a third midfielder. So again, Barkley, is he going to have enough games this season to force his way in? Is he going to force his way in front of Mason Mount and Kai Havertz? I'm not sure he will be. And that's what we have to ask. That's what you got to consider. So if they come calling, there's report that Chelsea would be willing to let Ross Barkley go out on loan this season, but they want all of his wages paid. Reportedly £120,000 a week. Interesting to see what happens with Loftus-Cheek and with Ross Barkley. If loan moves, people come in and approach Chelsea about taking them on loan. What do you guys think should happen? Would you loan either or, both, none? Put your comments in the comment section below. Finally, the Toni Rudiger situation I spoke about the other day is still ongoing, and he wasn't involved again. And you have to ask the question. When Frank was asked last night, he again reiterated the point that he can't pick all 5 centre-backs to be involved in a matchday squad. So at the moment, it seems as though Rudiger is bottom of the pecking order. And is he going to accept that? And how long is that going to be the case? Thiago Silva come in, got a good hour yesterday. I keep saying it, and everyone's saying it. It's Thiago Silva +1. At the moment, you'd have to say it's Silva and Zuma. Tomori's done himself no harm with his performance against Liverpool and in his performance yesterday. So Zuma and Tomori have got to be ahead of Christensen, who let himself down. And as I say, Rudiger is bottom of the pecking order. Could we see Toni Rudiger leave Chelsea? Now, I saw a thing on Sky yesterday. One of the guys on the transfer programme was talking about the fact that they believed that Toni Rudiger was Chelsea's best centre-half. I disagree with that. I think he's a good centre-back, but I keep saying he's erratic. He wants to get involved in rucks if there's any rucks going on. I just think that Kurt Zuma's evolving, and Kurt Zuma has gone from here up to here last season. Tomori, now he looks as though he's back in and in favour. He should be pushing. Him and Zuma should be in direct competition. And I can see Toni Rudiger leaving. And if he goes, you're going to command at least 30-40 million. Are we going to be short or lacking in that centre-back area if Rudiger goes? If Thiago Silva gets injured, he's out for the season, then we've probably got a problem. But you have to look at Zuma and Tomori's time together last season, beginning of last season, went on that unbeaten run, and they were outstanding. I'm sure they can go and do it again. We'll just have to wait and see. But it looks as though as each game passes that Toni Rudiger is literally bottom of the pecking order. And we're going to see this weekend against West Brom if the likes of Loftus-Cheek will be in the matchday squad, if Toni Rudiger will be in the matchday squad. If they're not, then you'd have to consider them both being out the door. So what do you think about the stories discussed in the video? Post your comments in the comment section below. If you like the video, smash that like button for me, then subscribe to the channel, but make sure you hit the bell for notifications so you don't miss when my videos come out, which is daily normally. Yesterday was different because of new equipment. But thank you so much for your support. Thank you for watching. Have a good Thursday evening. Take care of yourselves. See you all tomorrow.